Lowell. For those of you who don't know, Solidarity Lowell is a volunteer-based group of community members of Lowell working social justice by defending human rights, dignity, and equality of all persons against all forms of hate and discrimination. With all in-person events on hold, we hope we can bring people together virtually and come up with ways to pursue progressive issues in this time of social distancing. Our chapter of Progressive Massachusetts, if you're interested in learning more about Progressive Mass or joining one of their committees, let us know after the meeting. The Solidarity Coordinating Committee is your team of fearless leaders running the meeting and meetings, organizing events, disseminating relevant news, and taking action. Normally, we would have people stand up, but if for the coordinating committee, but if why don't wait till people raise their hands if you're a member of the coordinating committee? Yeah. Okay. So social distance hour, quarter hour. So we're going to go around. We'll introduce yourself, give your name, where you're from, your pronouns, and what is one thing you did for fun this month. So I'll go first. My name is Scott Richards. I'm from North Billerica. I use he, his for my pronouns. And what's one thing I did for fun this month? I've been some woodworking projects, which if you're friends with me on Facebook, you may have seen some of those. All right, so I'll go down. I'll go down in order of participants. So first we have Lynn Lupin.
Hi, Lynn, Lowell. Not a lot of stuff going on here.
Okay, Amy.
Amy from the Acre, pronouns are she, her. Wonderful thing I've been doing is playing Jackbox games on Zoom, which has been a lot of fun and a way to get out of the house and see friends, if only virtually. And I'll kick it to Ryan back there.
Hi, Ryan Hammond, also the Acre. And one fun thing that I've been doing this month is watching Alfred Hitchcock movies with Amy.
Caroline Snow.
So Caroline Snow, I'm from Lowell I'm near the Aiken Street Bridge and I always forget what neighborhood, Centreville, that's my neighborhood. My pronouns are she, her. And one thing I did fun this month is actually this, and starting to do virtual meetings and just getting more comfortable with being on camera with people versus in person.
Okay. Chris Offerman.
No, I'm unmuted. Hi.
Hi.
Chris Offerman, downtown Lowell, pronouns are she, her, and fun. I guess lots of Zoom meetings. I'm seeing more people than I've ever seen, even though they're all virtual, but meeting a lot of new people is my fun lately.
Joe?
All right, hi everybody. I'm Joe Boyle, coming to you from the Lowell Highlands. My pronouns are he, him, and one thing I've been doing for fun this month, I have been taking late night walks around my neighborhood.
All right, Marissa?
Hi everyone, I'm Marissa DuPont. I live in Pawtuckettville. My pronouns are she, her. And for fun this month, I've been playing online board games on boardgamearena.com, which has been very fun. And also planning Lisa Arnold's campaign for state rep.
Cool. Lutz or Luce?
Luz.
Luce, yes.
Okay, this is Luz Vasudevan and pronouns she, hers. And the fun thing I did is been riding my static bike this week.
Okay. D, can you hear me?
Oh, hi. Now the audio went out for a minute. Second. Dee Halzak, I live in the Acre, she, her. What did I do for fun? I had pizza with a friend on the front porch. I haven't had pizza in ages, and my favorite pizza place is still open, so I decided I wanted to support them. That's it.
Okay. Steve?
Steve Malagodi. I'm with the 350 Mass Lowell chapter. I live downtown. Fun. Well, for fun, I torment my cat and Democrats.
Okay. Ashley?
I'm Ashley. My pronouns are she, hers, hers. I live in downtown. Fun thing I've been doing this month is just doing a lot of embroidery projects and whatnot. So.
Okay. Tooch? Oh, you're still on mute, Tooch.
Wait.
Okay, I got him. Okay. Okay, wait. You're still on mute. There we go.
Hi, Tuch fan. My pronouns. I'm from Lowell. Sorry. My pronouns he, him, and she. He. So, what I do for fun? I've been do a lot of for this month, particularly for virtual phone call and meetings with partners. So I really enjoyed doing that. One, talk to the partners, keep in touch was, and then, but also learn new things for technology.
All right, Lisa.
Hi, I am Lisa Arnold. I am from downtown Lowell. My pronouns are she, her, hers. One thing I've done for fun this month, besides running for office and talking to all sorts of people, new people and getting to know them, I also switched over my hat collection from winter to spring. So.
Okay. Mary?
Hi, everyone. Mary Taurus, pronouns she, they work for me. I am in the Lower Highlands neighborhood, and I work for Lowell Alliance, and I'm also involved with the mutual aid organizing leadership committee, and also a member of 350, among other local organizations. Oh, and fun things. I've also been playing a lot of virtual games with my siblings who are all over the place.
Paul?
Yes, Paul Gaudette, Highlands, he, him. I belong to Merrimack Valley Project, and things I do for fun. Yesterday we had a parade for my brother and his wife who celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. We had 3 fire trucks and a police cruiser and about 10 cars with balloons.
Win? You're muted, Lynn.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can. Yep.
Okay. I'm Wynn Flint. I live in Centerville, on top of Centerville, called Christian Hill. My pronouns are she and her. And for fun, I did quilting this month. Oh, and I'm part of 350 Mass.
Okay. Laura?
Hi, Laura Hook. I live in downtown Lowell. Pronouns she, her, hers. One thing I did for fun, I've been working on my Spanish and watching some fun shows in Spanish.
Cool. John?
John Gross I live in Pawtuckaville. He, his. I'm active with 350 Mass, and I work for SEIU Local 509. And for fun, I guess like Lou's, I rediscovered my stationary bicycle. Getting nowhere fast.
Last but not least, Linda. You there?
Yes, I'm here. My pronouns are he, she, I'm sorry, she, her. I live in downtown Lowell, and what I did for fun was we had a mutual family get together.
Nice.
Virtually.
All right. So we're going to celebrate our victories. Llama is doing an amazing job distributing food and other necessities to more than 50 families in Lowell last week. And our former Solidarity Lowell Coordinating Committee member, Lisa Arnold, is officially on the ballot for the 17th Middlesex State Representative. Does anyone else have any victories to share this month? No? Nothing? Okay. Moving on.
Seems like somebody
our,
has a hand up.
Oh, we did have him hand up. Okay.
Well, it's not specifically for 350, but I think we should celebrate the fact that the anti-eviction bill was passed and signed by the governor.
That's good.
Yes. It looks like John Grossman
Okay.
has a hand up.
Oh,
Joe.
yeah. John Grossman, yes.
In my union, one of the struggles has been to negotiate extra pay for people who are going to work face-to-face with the individuals they care for, since they're taking risks that those of us who can work from home are not taking. And I had nothing to do with it myself, but my sisters and brothers were able to negotiate a couple dollars an hour extra pay at one of the agencies that has programs here in Lowell called Bridgewell.
Nice. Anyone else? Oh, Steve?
Question for John. John, isn't there some statewide legislation to provide frontline workers with extra pay?
There is not existing legislation, and the Raise Up Coalition has a bill which would help with that sort of thing, which maybe we could discuss at some point during this meeting or in announcements later on.
Okay. Anyone else have something? Okay. All right, so I'll turn it over to Chris Offerman with the Immigrants' Rights Subcommittee.
And like last time, there isn't a whole lot to say to that. As you can all imagine, everything's on hold, including still not sure if there's going to be a welcoming week and if there's going to be anything happening in September. We'll just have to wait and see how things go and maybe put something together on the fly last minute, or maybe cancel for this year. It's all not happening at this time for obvious reasons. However, and I put that on there because Mira is doing a virtual Immigrants Day at the State House on May 7th at 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So if I'm intending going there, you have to, I think, register a little bit ahead of time to reserve a seat. I'm sure they can accommodate, but they just would like to know who's there, I guess. So I did that already. If anybody else wants to be there, go to miracoalition.org And somewhere on that page or on the link that I put here, which we can also put in our notes, whoever has taken notes today. Somebody? Anybody taking notes?
Yeah, me. I am Amy.
Okay, good. Sorry, I forgot. I thought it was you, but I didn't want to put you on the spot. So if we could just put this link into the notes and publish that also, so people who are interested in Immigrants Day can go there and register, so that at least some virtual events are still happening. The rest of it, we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. That's it.
Okay. Mary?
Hi, folks. So I wanted to share some additional points on Mira's Immigrants Advocacy Day. The RISE Coalition, which is Refugee and Immigrant Support and Engagement here in Lowell, as well as the Merrimack Valley Project, Trevor LaFosse, we have both been asked to consider co-facilitating the breakout group for the North Shore and Merrimack Valley region that will be with our legislators here. So if folks are interested in helping us frame that conversation, or if you work with folks that have stories that would like to share their stories or speak to any of the specific legislation that's being worked on, we can talk after this. And I also just wanted to share on this particular agenda point that there is a bill being worked on for immigrant taxpayers stimulus assistance, as mixed income households currently don't qualify for the stimulus.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Okay. All right, so now I'll turn it over to Joe with the Affordable Housing Subcommittee. Oh, you're muted, Joe. Joe, you're muted. There we go.
All right, so the Affordable Housing Subcommittee has basically been put on hold by by events. We have been overtaken by events. One of the last things that we said we were going to do is to get involved, find out what other organizations were involved in working on housing issues, and get involved with that. And immediately thereafter, we had the COVID situation come up, and there is one that has arisen that has gotten active, that perhaps Ashley can talk a little bit more about that. Ashley, I'm blanking on his name now. Don Persons from the Christchurch United, the group that he's begun.
Yeah, so there's a small group. It's just on Facebook Messenger. It's not really that formal. It's just a group of individuals in Lowell who are concerned about housing. I guess we're kind of calling it like Lowell Housing Action. We've been meeting for the past couple of weeks now about the coronavirus and housing, and just what are things we can do to guarantee people's housing during this uncertain time with people not being able to pay their rent and whatnot. One thing we were doing originally was writing to City Council. Just before the eviction moratorium got passed, we were asking City Council to take a stance that they support the eviction moratorium, and just if they could, do like a home rule petition type thing, and pass it in Lowell if it doesn't get passed in the State House. Obviously that got passed in the State House, so that's so that's good. But even the eviction moratorium is not enough. We need we need to cancel rent or put rent forgiveness, however you want to talk about it. That's something we're trying to work towards, but we kind of put that on pause. And what we want to do now, we're focused on, is creating a flyer about people's housing rights and their rights as tenants, and what resources are out there for people who are perhaps facing not be able to pay their rent come May 1st. So we're going to be meeting on Tuesday. If anyone's interested in joining that meeting, definitely let me know. I can get you in contact with us and add you to the chat on Facebook, because we definitely could use, as many people who want to come as possible. Anyone who wants to help out and share their ideas is great.
Yeah, thank you, Ashley. I would urge anybody who was involved in the Affordable Housing Committee and was interested in that type of current housing advocacy to organize through the Lowell Housing Action. What the Affordable Housing Committee, and was basically looking at two tracks of activism, one of which was something similar to that, and the other of which was more long-term, focusing on things like the update to the comprehensive master plan, inclusionary zoning in developments, real more policy-focused, longer-term stuff. The former type of activism, the current activism, that I didn't see a value in us reinventing the wheel from what this Lowell Housing Action group has been doing. I think that what we should do is jump in their foxhole and work through them. The other side of that, I just feel like now isn't particularly the time, that the energy that there is to work on housing, work for affordable housing, we have this in front of us. We have this situation, we have rents coming due, and I think that I intend to get the housing subcommittee up and running again once things get back to normal. But for now, basically I'm putting it on hold, and we will come back when the time presents itself to be more useful on that end of things. John?
Yeah, one point, through 350 Mass, I'm hearing that there may be stimulus money coming to Massachusetts and other states from the federal government to head off the massive recession that appears to be about to occur. So I think they'll be looking for projects, and at 350 Mass, we're trying to come up with a list of projects that involve but I'm sure there's a lot of affordable housing projects that could employ.
John, we're having terrible audio problems with you.
I'll put it in the chat.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Yes.
And John, if you want to try calling in on your phone also, so you can have phone and video that way, audio and video that way, that might help for you. But yeah, the shovel-ready projects could be something we're thinking about for multiple issue areas, potentially.
Okay. All right.
Ashley, if you could also put contact information for people who want to get involved in the Housing Action Group in the chat here. That might be a good way for people to make that contact.
Sounds good. All right. Merrimack Valley Interfaith Sanctuary Network. Let's turn it over to Marissa.
Sure. So I don't have a lot of new news for that. Marius is still staying with us. Obviously, unfortunately, he is unable to work. There's a countdown clock that happens when you first apply for asylum, and then you're supposed to, after a certain amount of time, be able to get a work permit. He noticed not that long ago, like a couple months ago, that his clock stopped and he couldn't figure out why, and he's been working with them and nobody's giving him information. it's a whole mess. So he hasn't been able to get a job, obviously, in this current climate. I don't know that he would have been able to anyway. But yeah, and he still potentially needs eye surgery. We're trying to raise $500 a month to pay for his living expenses. And so we're looking for donations for both the living expenses and the potential need for eye surgery, but who knows when that's going to be able to happen with what's going on. So if you're able to donate, the link is on the screen and it'll be in the notes, or you can email me either at the Solidarity Lowell link or at marissa.dupont@gmail.com.
Okay, thanks, Marissa. Anyone have any questions? Okay. All right. So we're going to do group updates and announcements. Please share any important information and upcoming events from groups that you're involved with. Who'd like to go first? Anyone? I know a bunch of you guys are in groups, so Mary?
Sure. So this is not an organizing update, but for those that are in Lowell that are familiar with DIY Lowell, obviously the coronavirus is impacting a lot of our planning and efforts in our summit. DIY Lowell, for those that don't know, is kind of a guerrilla urbanism type effort to encourage residents to think about creative placemaking in their neighborhoods or in the city. So people can submit an idea and then we have a summit on the top vote getter ideas to make them happen. So you can look up the website for more examples of that, but they're hiring a new program director. It's 12 hours a week at, I think, $25 or $28 an hour. You can check the posting online. So if you know someone that's looking for a job to lift people's spirits and do some creative placemaking, that's a good opportunity.
Okay.
Lisa?
Oh, you're muted, Lisa.
Okay, I didn't see Paul's hand raised, so I sort of did this as a placeholder for Paul. I attended the Merrimack Valley Project meeting last Thursday, and they are doing a kind of a check-in survey with some of their members. They started it in Haverhill. Paul, feel free to unmute yourself and jump in with whatever. Oh, you did. Anyway, so we have been calling some of the members to check in and see kind of in general how things are going for people during this time. And they have some other events, so I'll let Paul continue it.
Thank you, Lisa. Yes. So we're calling this our listening campaign, which is in phase one is at least 5 of our leaders in the Lowell area, but equivalent volunteers in Haverhill and Lawrence are going to be polling with a planned questionnaire about what is the lived experience of folks in our different communities and trying to gather that information for a delegates assembly and then strategy session for our next 6 months of work together in organizing. The other thing I want to just put on the radar is we're going to be having a house party to kind of celebrating victories and raising a little money. Probably going to be May 13th, which is a Wednesday from 7 to 8 on Zoom. So a lot of you are already on the mailing list for Merrimack Valley Project. You'll be getting a little digital invitation, and we'll have some videos to talk about what's been happening, and you're all welcome. I'll send the details to Marissa or whoever who can put it on the Solidarity site. Anybody who wants to come is certainly welcome to Zoom in.
Okay. John Grossman?
Okay, hopefully can you hear me all right?
Yep, for now we can.
For now. So 350 Mass is still there's still hope to get the state legislature to pass legislation this spring to address the climate crisis. And if we learn one thing from coronavirus is that we need to get out ahead of these serious crises and prepare for them. And there's a petition that we're circulating that people can sign that goes to their legislators, an online petition. And I'm going to put it in the chat now. So I would encourage people to sign that petition and share it. And I will also put in the chat a petition to get the governor to provide hazard pay for state contracted employees who do the same direct care work that direct state employees do, but don't get the pay that he put out for them, and urge people to sign that. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, Carolyn?
So I work with the Greater Lowell Interfaith Leadership Alliance, otherwise known as GLELA. And we are in the process and have been actually asked by LLAMA, Lowell Alliance, and a couple of other people to do a diaper drive. So it is one of these diapers and other non-food essential items are difficult to get, as we know, in these day and ages, but also you can't necessarily get them from like a food shelter or groups that deliver food generally. And so I know LLAMA has been approached as diapers being something that's needed. And so GLELA, we kind of decided that that was something that we could do sort of as a project for this time, that it was a really necessary thing and something that we could really get behind. And so we have started to put that out to our networks to see if there's congregations or, you know, religiously affiliated groups in the area that would be able to be collection points, because that was our biggest hurdle, was that we had tons of people that were wanting to donate, but we didn't have anybody that, you know, we were trying to find donation points. And so we have one local Lowell congregation, and then my congregation in Chelmsford actually will be 2 drop-off points. And so that's sort of, it's still in the works, but I also just kind of put it out there as a fact or a point that not everybody always realizes is, you know, it's always great, even in a non-pandemic time, it's always great to donate non-food items to like food pantries or, you know, food resource centers. So that will be, I will send out, once we have our flyer and sort of more information as to official drop-off points and dates, I will send that out to the Solidarity Lowell group.
Great, thanks. Great. Okay, Marissa.
Hi, everyone. So I just wanted to mention I am Lisa Arnold's campaign manager for State Rep, and we're having a launch party for her next Saturday. So if you want to learn more about her and her candidacy, I'll put a link in the chat.
Okay. Chris Offerman?
Yes, just want to jump on what Caroline just said. Thank you for mentioning that there will be a potential drop-off point at your church in Chelmsford, because I've been working with my congregation, Trinity Lutheran. There's some interest there, but we were trying to figure out where to drop off. So if you drop off, that solves that problem for me. So thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Co-own buildings. Anyone gotten in touch with local organizations to begin discussing a coalition?
Didn't we sort of, especially affordable housing, we kind of went over that before between Ashley and Joe
Sure.
and others, right?
Yes, in terms of that, I think that I would like where I see this going is once the crisis ends and we the types of things, the other half of what we envisioned this committee doing starts to become relevant again. I would like to draw as much to try to recruit as much as we can from people who have been involved in other housing organizations to come and help run the Solidarity Lowell Affordable Housing Subcommittee. Make it a place where people who have been organizing on the more action side of things and being more COVID emergency specific focused can get together and on more of the policy side and the long-term planning side. Okay, so that's where I foresee the coalition work going here is first us working with them as much as we can on the on the current action stuff, and then hopefully being able to, having built the relationships there, being able to draw on that to strengthen and restart the Affordable Housing Committee. What do people think? I don't want to mute the whole time.
All right. Okay, Stephen?
Joe, you're assuming the crisis ends, right?
I'm assuming it either ends or at least changes in such a way that we eventually start having to deal with these things that are on the back burner now anyway.
Oh wait, I gotta raise my hand.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Ashley?
So I was just thinking about it and just like, I'm not really fully sure how to put it into words, but I know that there's some projects developing up in the Hamilton Canal area, and I believe those projects are probably still going to be continuing. And I know that we wanted to try to make sure that, there's affordable housing units being put into that area, and just like try to, do what we can to make more affordable housing in Lowell. I feel like, people who are like developers and whatnot aren't stopping what their work right now, like they're still pushing their projects, I would assume. So perhaps we shouldn't be taking a break, but I don't know. It's hard to do, like, what can you do when this is all going on? I don't know, but that's just my thoughts.
Lisa and Carolyn, did you still have your hand up from before, or is this something new?
Carolyn just said she'll be back. Oh,
okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right, good. Okay. All right, so let's turn it over to Tooch for a census update.
Well, thanks, Scott.
No problem.
Well, thanks for everybody to allow me to speak a little bit. I didn't have much. I already make presentation to you, and you all, I assume that you all know about the Census Bureau. But I have a few updates for you. At this point, the Census Bureau, we asked to Congress to extend or to give us 120 days for our operations. What that means, if the Congress approve, will the different deadline going to change? For example, cell response going to be extended until October 31st, 2020. And the final count and sent to the president going to be, the new date going to be April 30th, 2021. And we will also send data back to the state so the state can begin their distributions effort going to be July 31st, 2021. This is the new date if the Congress approve. So let me pause a little bit, and if anyone have any questions for now before. No? So that's good. So and then I can and then I come here also just update you a little bit about that. But also in Lowell, for the self-response rate in Lowell as for Saturday for 45.5%, and Massachusetts 54.9%, and the national 53.2%. So the Massachusetts ahead of the national, which is we're doing great, and the low is not bad at all. So, but thank you all your help, and then and all you in doing the census by yourself, self-response. We have a few challenges. Census tract, for example, in Highland, Joe and Mary, for census tract 3.18, that for self-response not so good, so we can be improved. And if you can pass the word to others, you know, about how to improve on that area, in particular in Highland area, in the middle of Cambodian towns that just need some help as well. And in Acre, census tract 13, 3.07 and 3.19 in the two census tracts that need to be improved. If anything you can do, pass the word to your friends, family, community members, and we greatly appreciate it. That's all I have for today. If any questions, I would take it. But once again, thank you very much. Just remember that you also play a part in the shaping the history for our futures. Thanks.
All right, looks like Mary has a question.
Sure.
Not a question, but just wanted to thank Tooch for being here to give the update and to add some additional points. There is a citywide complete count committee. There is a Facebook page for that, so if people could like and follow that, that would be great. Maybe we could like it as Solidarity Lowell also, if we haven't already done that. And then the complete count committee partners are planning like another Lowell census day type virtual media blitz type thing, and we'll be doing more phone banking. So if there are some Solidarity Lowell volunteers in the future that want to help the census effort locally, there will be opportunities to do that, and they'll probably be posted on this Facebook page.
Great. Okay, Tooch.
And also, Mary, thank you, Mary. I've been working hard with Cambodian associations. They are work in the central area, Highland, and in the middle of Cambodian town. So they will also do the phone bank because they cannot do a knock on doors. So they do a phone bank, and anything. If you think you can help, please let us know about us. Thank you, Mary. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else before we move on? All right. Let's talk about.
Scott, I have to log off. My son's birthday today, so it's just
okay.
It's a turn 11. So they've been waiting for me. So I'm going to log off, but I wish your family to be all of you be safe and healthy, and thank you, and take special care of yourself. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tooch. And of course, I think that's a pretty good excuse. So we'll be seeing you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Luce, you want to maybe give us an update on Llama?
I think Mary's doing that.
Oh, okay.
Luz, were you planning on doing it? Because if no, you weren't. Okay, we didn't confirm who was going to do it. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm happy to start, and then Luz, please maybe fill in if I'm missing anything. So Luz and I are both on the what we call the herder coordinating team of the llamas. Yeah. So this is lifting Lowellians assistance and mutual aid if it's new to anybody on the call. Like a lot of the mutual aid groups popping up around the country and internationally, we're really, it's not meant to be a social service kind of effort in the traditional sense of a nonprofit and that kind of thing. It's more about neighbors helping neighbors. We have the Facebook page. There's also a Spanish-facing kind of sister effort called Vecinos, Ayuda Mutua. And so that's also on Facebook. And we have a phone line which forwards to Vladimir Saldana in Lori Trahan's office for the Spanish line. And we also are forwarding the Khmer calls to the Cambodian Mutual Assistance Association and are trying to work with other language access options and organizations in the area. So let's see, so we have a food distribution effort that's able to serve about 50 families a week. I think they're taking a break this week to reorganize a couple of details, but we'll be back on the following week. We also are working with Lowell Alliance, the organization I work for, to do the diaper distribution, which before all of this started, we were serving clients in the region through agencies that they were connected with, but now have opened up distribution additionally to more families. And then there's a political action committee, which is trying to plan a public forum. We were hoping to have it this week, but I think we're going to likely have to push it, which would hopefully be a series that would allow for more live updates from someone from the city manager's office, hopefully someone from the Emergency Operations Center, and then other state and local offices and institutions and partners. So we've been reaching out to the Department of Unemployment Assistance, DTA, and we'll include others like Mass Hire and others in future sessions. So we'll keep you posted about that when it's finalized. For anyone, if folks want to get more involved in this effort, of course, we also have a Facebook page, like Solidarity has the Facebook page and the Facebook group. So please follow the Facebook page for Llama. And if you want to get more involved, we have a Slack for organizing most of this. And we've been trying to open that up more to folks. We have full network calls on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. They usually last no more than an hour. We're trying to keep it that way, maybe an hour and a half. But y'all are welcome to those. And Luz, do you want to speak to anything else? And then I'll see if I forgot anything. And anyone have any questions also?
I think you did a great job. That's what I said. Let Mary talk. Since
Okay,
you are
so
here, we'll let you talk.
I realized that I did forget one thing. So we have been working on getting a 501c3 through, at first we tried a couple of local organizations, but I think there was some uncertainty around the mutual aid format. So we have the new Lynn Coalition in Lynn, which is likely to be our fiscal agent. We've received some funds and some of those are in hold until we get that settled. And then once that's all settled, we'll be able to offer some emergency funds as people are requesting. We're not going to be covering things like rent or utilities because there are, some stopgaps in place for people, and some other organizations are covering some of that. But we will be able to cover emergency food and some medical expenses costs. But I think it's a one-time cap of $200, and that can also, that request can be made through the same form or over the phone number that's provided. Okay, I think that's everything. Ashley has also been involved if she wants to add anything. But yeah. And Dee and Chris have also.
Okay. Ashley, would you like to add anything?
Yeah. One thing I was just saying is that I know, I've been a part of the Saturday morning calls and whatnot, and I've personally only been involved in the political advocacy group. I really haven't been able to get involved on other fronts. I've donated some food and done what I can, but I know a lot of different groups are looking for more volunteers. The Llama is not a nonprofit; it's a mutual aid group, which means it relies on people helping other people and, helpers and people who need help, that sort of thing. As far as specifics on what people can volunteer for, I'm trying to remember. I know the outreach group is looking for a person to help coordinate that. There's also a working group focused on childcare. They're looking for a specific person to organize connecting people who can give childcare with people who need it and what's the process on that. So I know they're looking for a key person there. So the childcare group and then the outreach group is looking for a key person, I believe. And then they also just need people for, making deliveries. So there's the food bank happens on, I think, Tuesdays, I believe, or Wednesdays. It's Mary might.
Yeah, so the food, from what I understand, the food gets picked up and sorted on Wednesdays, and then the deliveries happen on Thursdays. And then the diaper bank deliveries happen on Fridays.
Yeah, so they're always looking for people to help out with those type of deliveries, as well as getting school lunches to kids in the community who aren't able, their parents or whatnot are not able to go pick up the lunch. Different schools are providing lunches, but they just need someone to deliver that. So they're looking for that. And mask makers are a thing as well. And I think I might be missing some stuff, but there's really a lot to get involved in. So definitely, if you have time, if you even if you can just volunteer one day, you can't do it again, but just, anything helps, really. Anything, even the smallest thing helps. So if you're interested, definitely get involved.
Thank you, Ashley. The Facebook page will be posting a lot of those volunteer or those additional roles that are needing more people to fill. And we're still trying to work on getting the call line. If folks are interested in just very occasionally calling someone back who's left a voice message with some of the details that they're looking for, that kind of thing. Thank you, Wynn, appreciate that. Just putting in the chat that you're helping folks out and how long it tends to take. That's helpful for folks to know. So yeah, thank you all for the opportunity to share more information about this, as it's been really incredible to watch it come together, but we're also still needing folks to help us get the word out. I think the numbers keep shifting. Like in the beginning, we had a lot of people looking to help others, and then we had a ton of requests come in, and I think that those numbers are going to continue to fluctuate. So we'll always need more people to be helping their neighbors and get the word out in their neighborhoods.
Okay, Chris?
Yeah, yeah, I'm unmuted. Just the way I understood it, would they just for the days? So the pickup for donations is usually on Tuesday, right? During the day of Tuesday, and then on Wednesday everything is being sorted at Elliott Church, and then the deliveries are done on Thursday. Do I have that timeline right?
That's correct. Yeah. So
right.
The way that they've been running it is people can leave goods out that they would like to have picked up at their house, as long as they get in touch with someone and leave it out. I think by 11 a.m. on Tuesday, they can add them to the list. And again, they are taking a break this week. I'm fairly sure about that and trying to get things back in order. And then they have Arlington Food Links helping to provide some of the food on Wednesday, as well as the food bank. And then we're also covering, so far Lowell Alliance has been covering about $500 a week for the food pantry. And when the fiscal agency is sorted out, we'll be able to shift that over to Llama to cover that. Oh, and I didn't mention there's a fundraiser, just so folks are aware. If Solidarity Lowell wants to share it again, that would be helpful. I'll put that in the chat as well.
It looks like Dee has something to say.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that the volunteer requests are in the last rapid response action report on Solidarity Lowell page, and also the link for the donation.
I don't know about others, but I can't hear you super well.
No.
Can you hear me better now?
It sounds like
Yeah.
there's a lot of rustling.
There's nothing moving here. Can you hear me better now?
No.
A little bit.
A little bit.
If you want to put it in the chat, or we can get it in the notes.
I'm putting it in the chat.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? All right. So April is the time when we've decided in our bylaws that the half of the coordinating committee is up for re-election. It's a 2-year term. So right now we've got up re-election Joe, Dee, Chris, and myself. Lisa Arnold and Marissa DuPont, who have both been members of coordinating committee, are stepping down for Lisa's campaign. Hopefully Marissa will be back soon. So we have 3 empty slots because we have up to 9 members. So the 9th slot is open. So we actually have 3 slots in addition to the 4 people who are rerun. So if you want to nominate somebody, or if you want to nominate yourself, we would very much like to get some additional members of the coordinating committee. And we'll be doing this as a online ballot rather than like obvious secret ballot now, just because that's not practical. Why don't we, Chris, did you have something you wanted to say?
Caroline just volunteered herself. So hello, Caroline.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the club.
Great. All right. Anyone else? Why don't we have the people who are running and now Caroline say a couple words. So Joe are on the list. So just, I don't know, say a couple words about running.
Okay, did you say my name?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. All right, everybody. Well, I think we've met everybody. I'm Joe Boyle. I've been on the coordinating committee since I think 2018. I was invited to join. I found it satisfying. I think we have a good group that works together well, and I'd certainly be interested in continuing to help out if people think that I'm doing a good job and providing a service to the organization.
Thanks, Joe. Okay, Dee, do you want to say anything? Sounds like we're still having some issues with hearing Dee. Anyway, Dee's been in coordinating committee, but she started about the same time as Joe, and she's been an excellent member of the coordinating committee, and we continue to have her service. Chris, why don't we turn it over to you?
Okay, yeah, we've already introduced ourselves already, so I don't have to do that again. I've been with Solidarity Lowell from the very beginning. I was at that first rally in front of City Hall way back then when it was cold and snowing. I still lived in Charleston at the time. Moved to Lowell about 2.5 years ago, and shortly after that was asked to join the coordinating committee, which I did. As you probably all figured out, my focus is primarily on immigration, although of course I'm involved in everything else, just like everybody in this committee. But immigration is my thing, and I hope to continue working on that. And I think we have a wonderful group in this coordinating committee, although we do need more help. We're all stretched pretty thin, so Caroline, wonderful. And I hope we can continue doing that.
Yeah.
That's a big all.
I'll next. So I think it's hard to remember how long I've been involved, but I think I started around 2017. I was originally working for Voter Choice Massachusetts, and Solidarity Lowell kind of stole me away from that. In addition to that, I'm a Billerica town meeting member. I work for John. I'm in the Billerica Democratic Town Committee, and a few other things which are keeping me at the moment. But yeah, so love to continue. All right, so why don't we turn it over to Carolyn?
Oh, okay. You cut out right as you were saying my name. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. I hold quite a few different volunteer positions, mostly focused around my congregation in Chelmsford. I've been a big social activist my whole life, and my sort of pet passion is incarceration and looking at our criminal justice system. And I got the amazing opportunity to work with the New England Innocence Project in Boston, and I am continuing that work sort of on the side, hoping to eventually become a paralegal in the political justice system and sort of working from the bottom up. I'm actually in a certificate program right now for that. I also have a degree in business and hospitality. So I kind of have a lot I can pull from, which has been really nice because, you know, I can say, oh, there's this technical, and then there's this other piece about managing people or, you know, cultures or understandings and those types of things. My biggest project right now is I am the treasurer of GWILA, which is the Greater Lowell Interfaith Leadership Alliance. And that has really opened my eyes to a lot of things within Lowell. I moved to Lowell about 3 or 4 years ago, and kind of jumped right into GWILA as I was the person that ended up just living the closest to where they were meeting. And that has been really amazing and eye-opening, and has really sparked my desire to be on more of these committees and to really start making all of these changes and connecting with all of the diversity and wonderfulness that is Lowell and our surrounding areas. And that's kind of me.
Great. Thanks, Carolyn. All right. Anyone else want to nominate somebody or nominate themselves? Remember, we do have 2 more slots open, so you would be a shoo-in. No? All right. Well, thank you, everyone. All right. So let's talk about the next meeting. It's May 24th. Hopefully, it will not be.
Sorry.
Sure.
Go back once to. Can you go to the other slide? The
Yeah.
one before? Yes, because even though the sentence is here, maybe it should be said, because now that we have all the candidates, it should be said that under this, usually we would be voting in the meeting with paper ballots, but being that that's not possible, Amy will tomorrow send out, I think, emails, I think that's what she said, or tomorrow, the next day, a ballot in by email, so you can vote on that. So everybody look out for that, please. That's all.
Thank you, Chris.
We're not going to fill
Laura
out
Hook had a question
ballots and then
too.
hold them up to the camera?
Who had a question?
Yeah,
Laura Hoke. It's in the chat.
Oh, Laura, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, okay.
No, I was just curious what the coordinating committee does, just to have a better sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I could talk about that and other people can jump in. Mostly what we do is we sort of plan the things. We sort of coordinate actions. I don't know. Somebody else want to like jump in and like talk about that?
Well, mostly what we do is come up with the agendas for the meetings, but that for these meetings. But those agendas typically involve, for example, a postcard action item that we come up with and then have people do. We obviously can't hand out postcards now, so it come and identifying other action items to organize that are going on that we can direct people to. So it's basically finding out about, or even on our own, starting opportunities for activism, and then disseminating the information about them.
Right. And we meet like 2 additional times a month besides the journaling.
Great, thank you.
No problem. Does anyone else have anything more to add on that, or?
Looks like Lisa.
Yes, I just wanted to add some of the stuff that we do that isn't going to get done or is getting done by this group now. The rapid response updates, Dee's been doing those. They do take a bit to make sure that we coordinate everything. Also, I am the point person for the Merrimack Valley Project to make sure that we have always have some representation at their meetings when it's possible. So having someone take over that at some point would be good. I can still attend them, but I think as an official representative of the Solidarity Lowell Coordinating Committee, we probably want somebody else to do that. And also when we figure out what our top priorities are, we want to make sure that we have good representation and good, like the affordable housing, making sure that this is one of our focuses and that we stay on top of that. So those are just the kinds of things that we do. So.
Okay.
Scott, Mary has a question.
Okay, Mary.
Sorry, I forgot to raise my little fake hand. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about outreach and inclusion in the time of virtual spaces and organizing. And I keep thinking about TV and other video options and other language equity options, but I'm just thinking for the rapid response updates, is there, maybe not now, but maybe in the future, if we could consider some kind of video program that would give updates on LTC or something like that, that would talk about the local, about the maybe the federal, the state, and the local, and how everything intersects for our communities here. Just trying to think of, for folks that aren't on Facebook, don't maybe use email, but might watch from home or engage with some of this content in other ways. Just trying to think of other ways to get the word out to people and let folks know that you guys are doing what you're doing. And thanks, Dee, for doing that in the intro. I know it's a lot.
Looks like Lisa. Lisa, do you still have your hand up?
Oh, I think she just forgot to put it down again.
Okay. I
All
think
right.
that's a
Anyone else?
I think that's a fascinating idea, Mary. Developing a presence on LTC and using that to disseminate information. I know we have somebody, actually, we have someone on the coordinating committee with an LTC connection, don't we? And we certainly have video for people, don't we?
That's true. Okay.
Yeah, I think we should look into this further.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. All right, any more nominations or any other questions? All right, seeing none. All right, so let's go back to this. Next meeting is May 24th. I suspect it'll probably still be a virtual one, but we'll see how we'll play this by ear. The topic of the next meeting is going to be getting out the vote. And we of a number of the roles that we have, typically like a greeter at the door and refreshments are no longer necessary for virtuals, but we always do need people to do reminder texts or phone calls. We need a moderator, we need a stacker, and we need a timer. Does anyone want to step and do any of those roles? Mary?
Just on the topic of the next meeting, getting out the vote, that's for the next upcoming election, is that correct? Or
yes.
For this vote for your steering committee or coordinating committee?
Oh, no. It's for like, elections, not for
okay.
Solidarity Lowell.
I know that Lowell Votes has a meeting coming up on I think it's May 5th, but just for folks who may not be aware, the consent decree for the election lawsuit that requires redistricting for the new system of representation at the local level still has to be done by the end of the year. So that should still be on folks' radar. And if you want Lowell Votes to present at the next meeting, I can find out if anyone would be available.
Okay. Anyone want to volunteer to do reminder calls or texts?
You have a volunteer in the chat.
Okay, great. And I saw Luz raise her hand, so that'd be great. All right. Yes, Chris.
Yeah, let's be a little more specific because I'm the poor person in charge of dividing up the list of who sends text to whom. So I'm going to need to know who the volunteers are that I'm asking to do this. It's basically real easy. I'm writing up the script. I'm sending it out to all the volunteers together with a link to our list where you will find a section of anywhere between 10 and 15 names and phone numbers that you're supposed to text the same script to. So you don't have to think, you just have to 10, 11, 12, whatever times push send on the text and send it to the new number. That's all there is to it. It's not very difficult, and I thank you, Luz and Ashley, right, that have been helping me out on that. It would be good if I know who I'm going to bug about this next time.
Right.
I can help too, Chris.
Who was that?
That was Marissa.
Marissa, yeah. Because
I was surprised you didn't ask me this month.
Well, I figured you're up to your eyeballs.
I appreciate that. This week was bad, but next month I can help.
Okay.
If it'll make up anyone's mind, if you join the Solidarity Lowell Coordinating Committee, you're automatically get to do the set of reminder calls for the meetings.
So I see Win, Luz, and Marissa as volunteers for next time. Is that right?
That looks right. Yes.
All right. Thank
And
you.
Mary, I see your hand is up too.
Sorry, I forgot to put it down.
That's no problem.
Okay. I'm good then.
Good. All right. Reminders about like joining us online. We've got a website, we've got a Facebook page. You can join our Facebook group. Got an Instagram, we got a Twitter, got all the stuff. And just before we break up, I wanted to just bring up a little fact that you know, we're all sort of like limping along on pandemic mode and isolation, but one thing that I thought was kind of interesting about that is Isaac Newton actually had to isolate himself. They were doing social distancing at the time because of bubonic plague, and at that time he developed calculus, his theory of gravitation, and he invented the cat door. So maybe look at this time as coming up with something as an opportunity to do some great work of your own. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.
Nice to see you all. All the best. Have a good week.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Great meeting, everyone. See you soon.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.